Alrighty, folks, welcome back to Mork Softball Field here at Eddie Cruzy Stadium. Easton Allen back with y'all on the call along with my partner Chris Jones. Game 2 underway here in Seguin. The Bulldogs took game 1 8-0. And now here we are starting game 2 with Brady 8, Brianna Jones leading off this inning again for Schreiner. She was the leadoff last game as well. And in the circle for the Bulldogs,
Ainsley Davis, number 27. Saw a little bit from her, I think, in the last series. Little ground ball there from Jones. And a little bit of hesitation there from Clark. Kind of confused.
Yeah.
I'm not sure quite what happened. I thought that should have been a routine ground ball there. Not quite sure what happened there, Easton.
I couldn't tell you either, but Jones is safe at first, and it's now going to bring up Holloway back in the 2 spot.
Quick little thing to note, so the Bulldogs have moved some people around. So Taylor Vanette coming in behind the plate for Bella Rodriguez. So Bella Rodriguez, yes, not going to start in this one. And going to put number 44, Kylie Jack, in right field in Vanette's place. But other than that, Bulldog lineup's the same. A little bit of change in the order, but we'll get you guys through that as we get there. And for the most part, Schreiner had a couple subs too. Hughes coming in at DP, and Garcia coming into right field, so a little bit different. Eubank Smith not going to return here early, and Mendoza not in the lineup for Schreiner as well.
Yeah.
So a little bit of change. Holloway, though, battling, and fouls that one off.
Yeah. Both Jones and Holloway kind of some lone bright spots for Schreiner back in game 1, though it was 8-0. Something for head coach of Schreiner, Matt Christensen, to take into this one is, Jones got on base twice in her 2 at-bats, and she's on base again here, and then Holloway got a walk and laid down a good sac bunt last game. So a couple of bright spots to carry over into this one as they're trying to get off to a better start here in this game, too.
Kind of taking a look at the numbers, Ainsley Davis, 5 wins, 1 loss, appeared in 14 games for the Bulldogs. Earned run average of .91, so less than 1 run per game. That's pretty solid. And you got some good numbers to back her up. Only had 30 hits off her in the whole year. Not giving up a home run yet, so been a huge force for the Bulldogs. And a little bit of an error there. Jones takes second.
A little sloppy out of the gate for the Bulldog defense.
A little bit different. We're used to seeing Bella Rodriguez in that secondary position there behind the plate, quite often. And chopped ball. Bulldogs going to try and get it there, but can't quite. Good toss from Tavery Ortiz, but little line drive right at her, and routine play there. So a little bit of time there, and now coming up for Schreiner, the DP, number 3 Hughes came in at the end of the last game, got a hit, so been a good piece there. The important thing to note, Vanette, the lefty, behind the plate there, as opposed to Rodriguez, who's right-handed, so a little bit different there behind the plate. Little chop ball, and that is by. Now, and Schreiner going to turn the corner and almost got her.
I'm honestly surprised, Chris, they didn't send her. Jones got pretty good speed over there.
She did, and it would have been close, but honestly, if you're Schreiner, what do you have to lose right now?
Yeah, my thought process exactly. She was about halfway almost down the base path there to home plate, and then Coach Christensen brought her back.
Another big hit there from Hughes. And, quite impressive. Hughes, I don't have the Schreiner stats in front of me. I'll try and find them real quick. But, Hughes don't think having a whole lot of playing time. And Schreiner with another
We'll fly out there to Kylie Jack and Wright.
Fly out. So Kylie Jack takes care of it. They stop a runner from tagging up and going home. So 2 down now for Davis and her Bulldogs. But runners in scoring position, so that's going to bring up Gilchrist. Excuse me, that is Gilchrist. Right, number 20? I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay Hughes batting .232, so I guess she's played a lot more. I didn't realize she just getting the start and
popped up there to
pop flyer out right at Davis and routine play. So the Bulldogs, let them get some scary position, but took care of business here at the top of the first. So be right back.
All right, bottom of the first, Kaylee Clark going to lace one into left field and going to get on base, and almost thought about going for 2, but a leadoff base hit for Clark, who ended last game on a high note as well.
Yeah, got on base, and Kay brought her home, so interesting now. Oh, a little bit different here. Kay just going to start on the right side.
Yeah.
A little bit high. So Schreiner has Bailey Borden on the mound. Borden, so far on the season, has only appeared 3 times, so a little bit less for her. Giving up 25 hits, though, in those 3 appearances, and coming in with an ERA of 8.04. So a little bit inexperienced, and, it's hard, maybe not being one of the top dogs, especially on a team like Schreiner, who, isn't bad, but just struggles with the competition of this league. They're going to try and take a check on Clark, and not even close. So Kaylee Clark will steal our first base of the game. It's interesting here. But anyhow, going through the Schreiner lineup, and got Borden on the mound, Gilchrist behind the plate. Everybody else pretty much the same. Only noticeable change is Garcia now in right field for Eubank Smith, so change there. And be a little different. Annie K ground ball at second. Kaylee Clark going. Thought about turning the corner, but Wilson called her off there. So little sacrifice hit there, and Kaylee Clark will advance to scoring position now with Serena Gonzalez coming up to the plate.
Sharing a laugh with Cusack over there at third. I think she almost tripped over the third base bag trying to come home. But now here we got Gonzalez back up. At least she only had maybe one, maybe two official at-bats last game
Yeah,
before she was replaced.
Yeah.
She had two.
I think she had two, but then she had Chesley Swisher coming for her pretty
Uh-huh.
quick. Gets a good piece of that one, but kind of skies that up there. And,
I think, they're saying right now it was a little bobble,
she bobbled that.
but it went off the wall, and she used it to help her catch it. So as of right now, it's going to be a double.
I missed that. So I thought she just bobbled it in her glove. You know, that ball crushed right there from Gonzalez and skied it. She moonballed that thing. I mean,
Yeah, it kept on going, though.
Looked like a parabolic curve there out into the outfield, and she'd have got a little more behind that. You know, that might have hit that truck out there in left field. But nonetheless, I didn't notice that hit the wall.
Yeah.
Good heads up by Coach Wilson to kind of stay safe. And big-time double there for Gonzalez, so that's going to get the Bulldogs on the board with Kaylee Clark coming across. So RBI in there for the Bulldogs.
RBI double for Serena Gonzalez, and that scores Clark, so 1-0. Like you said, Chris, and now get Kylie Jack up at the plate in the cleanup spot here in Game 2. Didn't see her in Game 1, but Jack, another formidable power option here for the Bulldogs to use.
Absolutely. And, taking a look at the numbers, and Kylie Jack batting a .33.
Here she gets under this one just a bit too much and will fly out into the left. So that's two down. Hold Gonzalez at second.
Kylie Jack appeared in quite a few games, so a big part of the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
A big part of their offense.
It's always interesting to see how Coach Wilson uses the lineup, too. Sometimes you see lineups like this where you have both Gonzalez and Jack back-to-back. Sometimes he just chooses one of them.
And it really, depends on what he wants to do. He has so much control over how the Bulldogs are going to choose to play the game. Now bringing up Faith Hernandez, another big-time hitter, and that ball just a little bit low in the zone. So now 2 balls. Hernandez is ahead.
Hernandez had a little 2 RBI base knock late in the last game that helped push the Bulldog lead to the run rule later in that game. Got a chance to get home another RBI if she can. Well, big change up there from Borden. That's going to be a strike. Make it 3-1. 3-1 from Borden, and that one
a little bit low.
Low and inside, ball 4.
Hernandez will take her base. That's going to bring up number 12, Tavery Ortiz. Last game, Ortiz just couldn't quite get it going. She might have had a single. I can't quite remember, but I know she had a couple and just kind of chopped ground balls she couldn't get behind. And here so far from Borden, that changeup, just doesn't have the same pace that Mejias and Mendoza had last time out. Just not releasing at the same speed and just a little bit different. Good cut there from Tavery Ortiz. And
a little fielder's choice flip to second.
Yeah. So.
And to end things here in the bottom of the first, Bulldogs get 1 run across as Gonzalez scored Clark and make us lead 1-0 going to the top of the second. Please stay with us.
And welcome back. And Bulldogs looking to get it going. First pitch swinging. And Ainsley Davis firing that one in there. Ground ball over to Tavery Ortiz. And Silman will be thrown out at first. So quick go right there for the Bulldogs. Now up for the Mountaineers is number 44, Lippold. Ainsley Davis fastball. Good spot there. And strike one.
Nice tempo here from Davis out of the gate. She's looked good in this first couple of innings.
A little bit inside. Good spot again. But Blue ain't going to give that one.
You know, Chris, I think the more, too, people like Ainsley Davis, Caitlin Howard can continue to find their group as well as the season goes on because they've improved a lot throughout the year. That's only going to help deepen this Bulldog pitching rotation as that's a heck of a change-up there, and they got it for strike two.
That had some nice drop to it. You know, Ainsley Davis does a really good job, you know, changing the elevation of her pitches and where they're coming in at. Schreiner coach not really agreeing with that one, but that was a filthy changeup, and I thought Silman reached for it. Another ground ball over to Ortiz, and she makes the play again. Or, excuse me, that was Lippold. So Lippold thrown out at first. Another ground out for the Mountaineers. And Davis starting to hum here.
Yeah. Keeping Ortiz busy at third as well.
Absolutely. You know, and I'll note, Easton, it is hot out there today.
Yeah. Took a little break watching some of the baseball game in between these two against McMurray, and it was nice when we first walked outside, and then we realized after about 20 minutes out there it wasn't very fun.
Yeah, it got hot fast. Little update. I guess the Bulldogs were trailing the last time I had looked.
Yeah. You know, we were kind of bad luck, Chris. It was zeros on the scoreboard when the game ended, and we were watching, and then all of a sudden it was 2-0, 3-0 when we left.
Bulldogs earned one back, though, in the top of the or bottom of the seventh, so now 4-1. McMurray up to bat with 2 down, so Bulldogs looking to get back into it. And over to Tavery Ortiz again on the line drive. She snags that one, so Ortiz does it pretty much all by herself here in the bottom or the top of the second. So we'll be right back with the bottom of the third.
Welcome back, folks, to Mork Softball Field here at Eddie Carusi Stadium. Taylor Vanette leading off this inning for the Bulldogs. Russell on deck and Leal to follow as Vanette gets a piece of that one. Going to go foul.
And right there, if I'm Schreiner's coach, I'd be pretty disappointed that one stayed inside the net and no one really moved to go get it. I know it's kind of far, but you'd like to see the effort from your infield right there to try and cheat one.
I'll play devil's advocate, Chris. That ball was off the screen, but
go. Oh, did it? I missed it.
Go climb.
entirely,
Yeah.
but
Go climb the screen and go catch it before it gets there.
that's right. Get up there. That's what I get for having my head down for even a split second. The Bulldog's so fast you'll miss it.
Yeah, but Vanette there grounds out, so now Russell up at the plate.
Vanette and Russell, yet to get it going. They're usually such an essential part of keeping the Bulldogs' offense going. They've been struggling a little bit today.
A little quiet.
But, that's the good thing about the law of averages. As we've discussed maybe more in length on the baseball, broadcast, is that one fouled way up. And
your speech worked, Chris.
Yeah, Schreiner going to get to that one. Some hustle there from Cusack. But, every time that they've had a rough at-bat like that, statistically it should get better. So
yeah,
they're continuing to work, and now we'll see. So 2 down now, Leal up, looking to turn the lineup over. Back to Clark. The good thing about the Bulldogs is they just need one.
That's very true.
And there goes Leal, and she is going to run through it, and she's got there. So there it comes, Easton, and now you see, you turn that lineup, and Leal starts the speed for the Bulldogs. Now you got Clark, and you got Annie Kay, and then you got your big hitters behind them. So interested to see what the Bulldogs can work with here with 2 down.
And Leal taking off first pitch, and she's in there, no problem. A couple steals for her, going back to last game. And that wind's starting to pick up again, Chris. As hot as it is, we got a good breeze today as well, going kind of right to left across your screens at home.
And the only saving grace out there, otherwise it's about 90 degrees.
It's definitely warming up, that's for sure. And Leal going to get to third just in time. No slide, surprisingly, from her. But
yeah, I thought maybe she might want to get down right there. And Cusack in disbelief. But Leal kind of in cruise control right there.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. So 1-1 to Clark.
Chopping through it. And great awareness there from Clark. She places the ball so well and knows exactly where that one needs to go, to bring home the runner. So kind of pick your poison there. Now Clark looking to find a way to get on. She's going to chop through it, and that one can't quite get down. So Schreiner going to hold the Bulldogs to 0. We will have more for you.
And starting off this inning with a bang as a little chopper back to Ainsley Davis, and she feels it in time. The throw to first. She's going to get Elizabeth Garcia, the freshman from Round Rock, is retired. So 1 down quickly to start the third. This game moving right along. And now I'm back to the top of the order for Brianna Jones, Brennan product. Shout out the Brennan Bears boys basketball team.
Yeah, no shout out actually here.
Okay.
Shout out to Bel Air for knocking that team out of the playoffs. You know, a little bit overhyped out of San Antonio, and that stays fair.
I beg to differ. That I was disappointed.
And Kylie Jack kind of was waiting to see if that one would go foul, but it didn't quite.
All right, we got to stop the softball talk for a second. The Brennan Bears, I know you're not a San Antonio guy, Chris. I am, but I was pulling for Brennan to bring home a state title this year. I thought they had a great team.
Yeah, they were pretty solid. They were okay. I'll give them that. You know, ultimately though, fell short. You got to give credit to Bel Air.
Yeah, what I appreciated about that team is that was a team those guys played together for years. And stuck with each other. Unlike a lot of teams nowadays, you get guys that just kind of transfer into schools, and that's how they kind of create kind of high school super teams, especially in UIL. I kind of appreciate Brennan just growing up playing together, and they're very fun to watch.
Absolutely, as opposed to Duncanville for sure. But
that's a team I know you don't like. I'm surprised you're hating on Brennan right now, dude.
But, runner going. Looking for Jones. She's going to get there. A bit too high there from Vanette. But, that's like the Bulldogs, kind of homegrown here. They have the occasional transfers and, stuff. But for the most part, the core of them are here, and they develop. It's a tough place to try and be a freshman that plays here. You have to be really talented. So they work together, and, they go through the motions, and, they do it every day. They work really hard. They lift at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning in the off season. And, there's a reason they're so successful. And so that, togetherness, really unites Bulldogs. As Davis now 2-2 looking for that strikeout here against Holloway. And again, Jones finds a way to get on base.
Yeah.
She's had herself quite a series here so far.
That one goes a bit high. And you mentioned, like you said, a big core of this team developed since their freshman year, but I also think Coach Wilson's utilized the portal when he needs to, and I think it's the best way to balance it. And I think some coaches use it too much, but
Absolutely.
Guys like Coach Wilson, I think just adding a piece here or there to each team when you in a position of need has been helpful. As look at Liao making a play. They didn't tag, not applied in time though. Wow.
And Liao faked me out of my seat up here. My eyes went to first, and
faked out Brianna Jones too for a second, but they don't get her out.
That was close, maybe. I mean, I definitely think she was safe, but that was closer than I thought. Great effort, though, but that's one of those ones where if you gamble on that, you better make sure you find a way to get it. And that fouled. So now Hughes back in, who, is 2 for 2 in the 2 games now. Yet to strike out or be walked, so. Mountaineers trying to make things interesting here in game 2. Nice pitch from Davis. So now 0-2 here for Hughes. Looking for that outside of the zone Vanette, little ball fake there. And Easton, if you look out there, we're starting to see some real progress there on the Vern Lundquist Center.
I was just going to say.
Looking good. Lots of piles of, orange dirt and clay, So looks like they're making some work over there. Hopefully we can get that, up and operational pretty quick.
Fans can see it too. That little scoreboard camera we have for today is, this one grounded to Ortiz, little check on third, and then a throw down to first, and now we got something called from, I think she left early over there at first.
And she should have been
So is that a double
thrown
play?
out, so that should be a double play, no?
I think
I'm a little bit confused.
These are the times I wish Sydney was here, Chris. Looks like they got the lead runner out for leaving early.
Was it a – so the lead runner's gone.
I think 4.
But
Holloway left first early, but they got to get the lead runner out to make it, I guess, fair. So we have.
But how? I thought. I don't understand.
So our lead runner's out now. That's all we know is at second. So it should be 2 outs now in the inning with a runner on first.
That should be, and now they're saying 2 and 1, but 1 and 2. Because I was gonna say, Hughes definitely had 2 strikes. I thought that was strike 3, but I guess not. She fouls that one. So regardless, there should be 2 outs now. Hughes at a 1 and 2 count. You'll please forgive our lack of softball knowledge right there. But I'm very confused. So we will see here. Ainsley Davis, rise ball, leaves it short. Got him almost, and she's safe. Lindsay Liao.
Same thing.
Yeah, kind of infielder's choice again. But Bulldogs can't come up with the stop right there. So now, 2 down and runners back on second and first like they had it. Little cut right at Davis, though, and easy toss over to first. So Bulldogs survive. A little bit of antics right there. So we will be right back with the bottom of the third.
Little bunt from Andy Kay to lead off this inning, and a wild throw going to allow her to reach first base safely, but she'll stay right there.
And what a bunt right there from Andy Kay. That was very well executed right there. A little update on the men's game against McMurray. Bulldogs gave up 4 runs, but fighting now. So 4-3. McMurray, TLU trailing by 1 in the top of the 9th. McMurray up to bat, no outs. Serena Gonzalez is going to watch that one. And sloppy execution right now from Schreiner. A little bit high there, so now 2-0 count. Little change up there, and that's going to be a strike, so 2-1. Annie Kay going to get down, and she's safe. Thought maybe she might look 3, but
yeah,
Kai Cusack staying home on that base there.
And a couple of wild throws too so far this inning from Schreiner.
Yeah, Gilchrist got to stay focused behind the plate. Mr. Pitcher early. And that one there.
Kay going to go to third. Why not?
She's going to get there.
Yeah.
Little hesitation from Gilchrist. Gonzalez didn't move out of the box. Makes it a little bit tough there. And honestly, I think if Cusack would have been faster with her glove and kind of swiped down a little bit quicker, she may have had a chance.
3-2 full count. And that one fouled off. Going to stay full.
Cusack diving for that one. Chopping it up there with Annie Kay. And Cusack coming from Vanderbilt Industrial. Annie Kay coming from Sinton. So good chance they know each other. Probably played some softball together back in the day.
And this
good
one,
cut from Gonzalez. And that is gone. And that is going to be a 2-run home run for Serena Gonzalez. And that was real close there to the foul pole. I wasn't quite sure if that was good or not. Serena Gonzalez here with another home run.
A little 2-run bomb over the left field fence just inside that foul pole. She was close to one earlier.
Yes, she was. I kind of have been waiting all day for her to just rope one, and we finally see it. So looking at the numbers coming into the day, Serena Gonzalez already had 7 home runs, so that's going to be her 8th on the season. A whopping 30 RBI for her. So been a very efficient bat for the Bulldogs this year.
And a real bounce back year for her, too. Kind of an up-and-down sophomore season. Was the kind of year she's having this year was a lot like her freshman season. Made a big impact, and good to see her back in that form. And the Bulldogs are going to need it as they want to continue to make the run they're on this season and make a deep run in the postseason.
Kylie Jack in the box for the Bulldogs. Jack, a reasonable person to have in your 4-hole. On the year. She's got...
Ooh, that one run inside and got her, so Jack will take her base.
I guess I don't need to bring up hitting stats now that she's on base. So, anyhow, that's going to bring up number 30, Faith Hernandez. And looks like we're going to have a change here. So, Chesley Swisher coming out. Chesley may go ahead and run. So she's going to give Kylie Jack a break. So I'm guessing that's probably just going to be a straight sub. And Chesley Swisher's probably just going to go right into right field there. Like where she goes usually. And Faith Hernandez is going to lay down a bunt. She's going to run it through. Chesley Swisher going to go to third, error, and she's going to steal all the way home.
Right off the pen, she can run around the bases a little bit.
Exactly why you make that change right there if you're Coach Wilson. And great heads-up play there by Swisher to get all the way around. And great sack bunt right there from Hernandez.
And it was already a good, like you said, already a good sack bunt. It was definitely going to advance Swisher. Hernandez might have been thrown out, but then and she did, and then you get the poor throw over. Like you mentioned earlier this inning, that's like the third kind of miscue throwing-wise from Schreiner. That one for sure will go down as an error, but even other ones too. Just sloppy with the softball right now, Schreiner. So 4-0 now. And Tavery Ortiz back up with only 1 out in the inning.
Good cut right through that gap, 5-6 gap, and Tavery Ortiz going to find herself a single.
Continuing her solid day.
And Coach Wilson going to call time. Probably going to have a sub there for Ortiz. Or maybe Vanette. I don't know. So we're going to see new Bulldog come out. That is number 25.
Riley Futrell going to pinch run there for Ortiz.
Senior out of Florence, Texas. So we've seen Futrell a little bit. We saw her some against Southwestern last weekend.
Kind of her whole career has been a solid base runner off the bench for the Bulldogs. This one popped up by Vanette. And Taylor Vanette going to have to head back to the dugout. Gotten a bit underneath that once again.
Senior. So unfortunate at bat there from Vanette. Just can't quite get behind one today. That's going to bring up Harley Russell now. Bulldogs now have 2 down. And Bailey Borden trying to make them work. Good cut from Russell, but just a little bit ahead of that one, a little bit on top of it, so it's fouled back. A little bit high there.
Yeah. Two outs, but you still got some speed over there at first, and Russell trying to get her bat behind the ball here. And does it the lift out the left, but not going to be far enough, so that's going to end things in the bottom of the third. Bulldogs do get 3 runs across, though. Had a 2-run bomb there from Serena Gonzalez as well this inning, so 4-0 our score now. We'll go top 4. Please stay with us.
And welcome back, everybody. Here to the top of the 4th now. And Schreiner now up and looking to eat into the TLU lead. TLU pouring in 3 last inning with the Clark getting around and Serena Gonzalez 2-run homer. So going to get it going here. Little change up there.
She's like going back to that pitch a lot throughout this game, and it's one she puts in a pretty good spot almost every time. Unable to get the call there at 2-1.
A little bit high there, so 3-1 for Davis.
So popped up
there, yeah.
And Clark not able to get underneath it for out number 1.
Hurry can't quite get behind that one.
Now going to bring up number 21, Abigail Slyman, 5'3" freshman from Cypress, Texas.
Change up there and got him again, Davis.
This one chopped foul. Moving over to the Bulldog dugout. 0-2. I think Davis has done a really good job of Chris just getting ahead early, and she's kind of stayed in control of almost every single one of these at-bats this afternoon. So 0-2 count here, 1 down. Davis fastball outside. Vanette tried to frame it, but nothing doing. 1-2. And Chris, how are the men's team doing right now? Across the way.
Spot. Little fly ball there. 1 out, and oh my goodness, that's not good. Air in the outfield, and be a triple. Murray going to score 2, so they just took a 6-3 lead in the top of the 9th.
Meanwhile, here a 2-2 count. As kind of hesitant swing there. I think that was a changeup again from Davis, and she's really got that pitch going right now, and it's going to stay 2-2.
Trying to time it out, but it's been tough for her, 'cause it's such a different pace, and it changes height, very different than her fastball, like that. So there she's late, trying to time it out again.
Yeah.
Now Davis looking for strike 3 here. That one runs inside. Shillman probably could have wore that one, but backed out a little bit. So full count. Full count.
With 1 down in the inning, here comes the pitch from Davis. And popped up over to Harley Russell, kind of carrying a bit, but Harley underneath it, going to make the play for out number 2.
It's going to bring up Lippold now.
Yeah, not a bad swing there from Slimy, but that's one of those with the wind that's been blowing today, which makes the Serena Gonzalez home run earlier even more impressive.
Absolutely.
Chris, there was one, I don't know if it was last year or her freshman year, me and Sydney were on the call, and the wind was blowing how it is today, but straight in from center field, and Gonzalez put one in the air. I thought it was like a routine, like pop out right around the TLU logo. It just kept going all the way to the athletic trainers area over there. Like, it was a bomb, probably the longest home run she's hit that I've called. It just blows my mind sometimes because I can't even do that. Intramural softball, not quite the same.
Absolutely. Easton, I hate to break this to you, but you kind of have a bad rap sometimes. You're not known for your elite hitting or fielding, so
I beg to differ.
Good thing we leave this up to TLU softball.
I beg to differ, though. Our
softball
team is 1-0 right now, and I was phenomenal at first base.
No one cares about your softball team. If you would maybe not trash the field with your sunflower seeds everywhere, you could keep playing intramural softball.
I don't choose sunflower seeds.
But anyhow, Davis here getting a foul tip, so now 1-2 count here and looking to get the Bulldogs back on offense.
And strike 3 looking.
Strike 3.
Ainsley Davis earns the K, and we're going to go bottom 4. We're still 4-0. Please stay with us.
And welcome back, everybody. Here, bottom of the fourth. Bulldogs looking to continue it. So Leal now laying down a bunt. Going to be fair, but she is thrown out. I thought she might have got there.
Me too.
We don't have a look at the replay today, so.
Kind of spread thin this afternoon.
Yeah, a little bit. So, lots going on here on the campus today. We talked about earlier. Inside strike there now for Clark.
This one line drive, going to get through past the second baseman.
She's going.
And Clark going to get all the way into second base. Wow.
And she turns a single into a double. She's so impressive. And go ahead and get there. So now here we go. Bulldogs already looking to get back on the board. And seeing the speed of Clark, and now Kay coming up to the plate. Kay going to watch that strike, so.
This one flown out into the left center gap. Pretty good swing from Andy Kay. That's going to be deep enough to move over Clark to third, but a really nice rip there from the Bulldog center fielder.
Regardless now, Clark going to advance to third and bringing up Gonzalez, who, you know, last time out had that 2-run home run. So love to see if she could repeat some of that Gonzalez magic here today.
We'll change up first pitch. Going to find the inside part of the plate for a strike.
And I'll give Borden some credit. She's done a good job of finding that inside of the zone, you know, kind of handcuffing the batter a little bit.
Yeah, that one high and outside for a ball.
But you're going to have to be pretty perfect as a pitcher going up against Gonzalez. 'Cause you mess up at all, and she's going to crush it. It's a 1-1 count. 2 down here, little reminder. Gonzalez getting a piece of that. It's going to blow funny and
land right through.
Air there, probably. I mean, that's a hit, but.
So Clark going to score from third.
Yeah, death triangle right there between second, center field, and right field. So Gonzalez going to get a hit. Maybe not how she intended to do it, but Bulldogs will take it, and Clark will score. So now coming in for Kylie Jack is Chesley Swisher. Going to lay down a bunt. Good spot there. She's going to run through it, but can't quite get there, so. Bulldogs only going to add 1. Your score, 5-0 TLU going into the 5th. Stay with us. And welcome back, folks, here. Top of the 5th now, so Davis continuing to work. And Schreiner looking to get into this one here. Good cut there, but Russell on top of it. And big play from Russell. That would have probably bounced there into the warning track. And Bulldogs going to go ahead and get their first out, so back to the dugout. Kai Cusack will go.
You know, she might have been a little quiet behind the plate today, or at the plate, but you know Russell's due for a nice play out in left field, showing off the glove.
Absolutely.
So one down here, and it's going to bring up Elizabeth Garcia back to the plate. Trying to spark something for the Schreiner offense, but she's going to take a swing at that one and come up empty as Davis continues to roll here in game 2. Fouled off there, so count is 0-2 to Garcia.
Davis ahead here. Little change up there.
Gonna stay 0-2, a couple of foul balls as Garcia fighting in this at bat, but Davis making it tough on her.
Outside of the zone, almost there. And I like that kind of, choice to look at that right there, because if you get it, you can't reach it. You can't do much about it. But it didn't quite connect there. We'll change up that one run. I guess that one really changed it. It was more fastball runs inside. And there's that changeup for strike 3. So 2 down now.
Turn things back to the top of the order for Jones.
Changeup again.
Yeah. Had her fooled and just able to foul it off.
That ball's got some nasty movement on it, as we've said.
This one popped up.
Chopped up. Russell. Kind of, as I like to joke and say, unhitching the trailer to go get that one. She put it into high gear but couldn't quite run that one down. Good effort there by the Bulldogs. Now, Jones a little bit behind here. Ainsley Davis up ahead 0-2. Trying to go outside, but way outside there. Now 1-2, 2 down. Change up down the middle. At a strike 3, Davis fired up. You love to see it. Bulldogs now have a chance here if they can put up 3 to hit this run roll. If not, going to battle. So please stay with us.
Probably.
And welcome back, everybody. And bottom of the 5th here. Maley Borden continuing to work, and Bulldogs about halfway through. Faith Hernandez up, and she's ahead now. 2 balls, no strikes. Bulldogs looking to close it here early in the bottom of the 5th. And Faith Hernandez gets a good cut, and that's going to drop just short of the left fielder there. So single for Hernandez, and now Tavery Ortiz coming up. And looks like we are going to see a little pitch runner.
Is that Hamra again, if my memory serves me well?
Fun game, and it is Hannah Hamra out of Meridian Community College in Mississippi. And she's going to look to run, so good job there by Hernandez. And now Bulldogs going to put some speed on the bases again. Tavery Ortiz had that nice single between the 5-6 gap last time around, so going to look to continue here and keep it going for the Bulldogs as they look to close here early.
Still got Borden in the circle as well for Schreiner. Is that one going to get away? And Hamra not ready to go there. I should have taken off on the wild pitch, but she stays.
Coach Wilson a little bit frustrated there. But, you know, I wasn't quite sure. That was a little bit awkward there.
She might have thought it was
trying
foul.
To lay down a bunt and then kind of skied that ball. But Tavery Ortiz going to lay that bunt down. Hamra will now advance to second. So good job there by Tavery Ortiz. And now we have got Joy coming back up. So little substitution there. And that will be Jordan Joy batting a 300 before today. She's coming in for Vanette, who struggled a little bit here today. And so, actually, we're going to see a complete changeup. I think Vanette not batting this time, and I see Mia Landry on deck. So, a little bit of a changeup. Changeup a little bit low there. But Joy here, you know, batting at 300, you know, pretty efficient on the year. You know, only 12 appearances and 10 at-bats, but 3 hits in those at-bats, so doing a good job here. You know, Coach Wilson, you know, maybe giving some time here to kind of his secondary group as try and finish this one out. 2 count, and Joy going to strike out swinging there.
Pretty good pitch there from Borden. A little changeup, just kind of had her all out of sorts at the plate. So a big strikeout there for Borden to hold the runner at second. And the Bulldogs try to see what they can do and try to bring home Hamra over there at second. And like you said, Chris, Mia Landry now at the plate.
Coming in for Harley Russell. Apologize for the scoreboard. Jackie got a bit ahead of herself over there. But 2 down now for Schreiner, and looking to get Hamra around. Mia Landry has hit home runs in the past, being a good hitter for the Bulldogs. In a little bit of a sophomore slump, batting a 2.42, 33 at bats, and come up with 8 hits. So very respectable numbers. And, you know, like many of the other Bulldog batters, you know, she's pretty quick when she gets on base. So it'll be interesting to see here. She's going to battle 1-1 count now. She reaches for that one. Outfield umpire going to say safe. I thought maybe she might have got right there. And that's how I like to explain that one. But 2-1 count. To try and get a piece of that one. It skies up. And error there from the Schreiner outfield. And Lippold just barely loses that one. Wind pushed it around, sun in her eyes, you know, tough right there. And Landry comes up with the double.
Yeah. And good on Coach Wilson, too, you know, always just sending their runners on 2 outs no matter what. And sometimes you get chances like that where error happens and you take advantage of it and get that run across. So 6-0 now is Leal with a pretty good swing, but that's not going to stay fair. Trying to bring home Landry at second. 6-0 our score now.
All right, here Leal got to find a way to get on base and bring up Clark and look to put this thing away. So 0-1 count here. Bulldogs scored 1, so 6-0 now. Need 2 for a run rule. That down the middle, a little bit low. So now 2-1. And great bunt there from Leal. I mean, nothing they can do about that one.
Died right there.
And she's just going to go ahead and go. They throw it, and it's gone, and no one's back there. So Landry comes home, and Lindsay Leal now going to come home, and that'll do it. And the Bulldogs steal it here in the 5th inning.
Chris, in my 4 years of calling games here, that has never happened before. What? You know, Coach Wilson's starting to play some mind games and just let Schreiner make the mistake for him. And the Bulldogs walk it off in probably the most awkward way possible, Chris.
And, you know, I'm not going to, be disrespectful here, but that is a really bad error and, a really unfortunate time right there when you're trying to extend the game and you have something like that happen. But, credit to the Bulldogs and, that speed on the base path. We saw it all day long. Couldn't make those crisp throws and couldn't throw people down. I think they were trying to gamble, hey, maybe let Landry go from third and try and get it at second. But when you miss, the Bulldogs going to be quick to get around. So the Bulldogs escape with this one, 8-0 again, and go 2-0 here in this series with the Mountaineers. So 2 dominant performances by the Bulldogs. Easton, any final thoughts?
All I can say is I just glad to say we unlocked a new way to end a game. That was kind of crazy how this one ended, but like you said, all business from this one. Bulldogs 8-0 both games, and we'll have Game 3 tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I believe, Chris.
Yep, and we will be right back with you guys. This has been Chris Jones here with Easton Allen, and we're going to go ahead and sign off. So thank you, Bulldog Nation. See you tomorrow.